deadlift is probably one of the most basic movements that you can do with a barbell. The old adage is just grip it and rip it. Okay, it's simple enough. If you've got a barbell, you got some plates, you're in your garage. You don't need a rack. You don't have to worry about getting the bar on your shoulders. So it's a very, very simple movement to do. It's also going to work the most muscle in your body. So if we're looking at getting more muscle activation, the deadlift is it. Because what we have to do, we have to be able to push down through the ground. As you're pushing down through the ground, you have to direct force into the bar. So that kinetic chain is going from your feet, through the legs, into the hips, up through the torso, down the arms. So that kinetic chain is about as long as we're going to get. So it's going to get everything working. There's definitely a right and a wrong way to deadlift. We're not going to get into the weeds here as far as like sumo deadlift and some of the other powerlifting deadlifts. What we're going to work on here is just the basics of a standard one each military issue deadlift. So what we want to do is we want to find our foot stance. Now, we're not going sumo. We don't need to be too narrow. We want something that's comfortable. So if you were to just jump and then look down at your feet, okay, that's your deadlift width, that's your deadlift stance right there. That's about as neutral a stance as you're going to get. What we want to do is we want to center ourselves on the bar, get that bar close to the shins with that stance that we just determined from our jump. We want to come down so my shins are about maybe 2 to 3 inches from the bar. All right, I'm going to get closer, but that bar is directly over the top of my feet, and that's critical right there. That bar has to be over the top of my feet, because if that bar is out in front of me, when I try to lift, I have no leverage. Okay, so from here, I'm not able to put any force into the bar. My body weight's too far forward. I can't push down into the ground and pull that bar up. I need to be close to it so that I can push straight down directly underneath the bar. Okay, so I should be able to see my toes, my shoelaces out in front of the bar. My hand width needs to be outside of my feet. Okay, I don't want to go real wide on this because that's just going to put us in an awkward position, but I want my hands to be just outside of my feet. So if I take my index finger and point straight down, I should be pointing just at or just outside of the little piggy that went wee 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 all the way home. All right, as I do that, once I get my grip, and I'm going to use a double overhand grip here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull myself down to the bar. As I do that, I'm taking slack out of the bar, and you'll feel that bar just start to get some tension in it. The weight's not going to lift up off the ground, but we're going to feel the slack get taken out of that bar. As we take the slack out of the bar, we're also going to take the slack out of the body. Now, you may have noticed that as I grab that bar, my knees are just inside of the elbows. That's where I want them. So my knees are now just out in front of the bar. My shoulders are in front of the bar, but my body weight is centered right over the bar. Okay, so knees just inside of the elbows, shoulders out in front of the bar, hips are shot back. My hips, I'm not sitting down, I'm pushing my hips back behind me. As I grab onto that bar and pull the slack out of it, I'm going to take the slack out of my body. So I'm going to tighten up my armpits. I'm going to flex those lats, and as I do that, my back is naturally going to flatten out. Now my hips are below my shoulders, my knees are in front of the bar, and I take the slack out of everything, and I'm just going to kind of naturally line everything up. So from here, I'm not going to pull the bar up, I'm going to push the floor away from the bar. As I push, notice that my hips and shoulders come up at about the same rate. And then as I clear the knees, I'm still pulling the bar up against my thighs, stand up nice and tall, squeeze the glutes, chest comes up tall and proud. To set the bar down, I have to reverse my direction. Hips go back and behind. The bar is going to slide down my knees. Once the bar clears my knees, the knees are going to shoot forward, and the bar is going to come all the way down to the ground. Don't just tap and go. All the way down, reset. So tighten everything up again, take the slack out, and push the floor away from the bar. Then hinge back, and then lower the bar back to the ground. Reset, push the floor away, and then back down. And that's a deadlift.